Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our chapter number 4 of History, the Tribal Communities. Student, up till now we have understood that English East India Company came to India only for trading. But slowly they became the master of India. They started interfering in politics of India. They have seen that how the small kingdoms are fighting among themselves. They took benefit of that thing, and bitter their rule affected all the sections of the society, especially the tribal group. The tribal resisted the change that the British rule brought about. But in this chapter, we are going to read about what was their way of life and what changes came in their life after the arrival of Britishers. The tribal way of life. There were many tribals in India. Some of them were the Mundas, Santals, and Orains in the Chota Nagpur region. And when we talk about central India, there were Begas, Gonds, and Khons. In northeast, Khasis and Nagas were there. So many tribals, different groups inhabited India at that time in different part of India. Let us talk about society. The tribal society did not follow any rule led by Brahmins. There were more equality among them. Land was owned by whole tribal group. Not only this, there was different culture of their own, and they did not want any outsider to interfere in them. Each tribal group had its own custom, rituals and belief. बेटा जैसा हम सब जानते हैं कि हमारी सोसाइटी कास्ट बेस्ड सोसाइटी थी, तो उस समय जो कॉमन सोसाइटी थी उसमें छुआछूत या अनटचेबिलिटी बहुत ज़्यादा थी, लेकिन ट्राइबल्स में ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. वो कम्युनिटी ज़्यादा इक्वल थी बशर्ते जो हिंदू कॉमन कम्युनिटी थी उससे. इकोनॉमी. ट्राइबल्स depend on natural resources in the region in which they live. And some tribal also live settled life, and they settle down in any area where they live permanently. Not only this, कुछ nomadic life भी जीते थे और एक जगह से दूसरी जगह घूमते रहते थे. And they were engaged in different activities like shifting cultivation. Now, what is this shifting cultivation? When, a fertility of the land is absorbed after doing agriculture for long period of time, then they shift that place and go to another place, and they cut down trees and forest. This was known as zoom cultivation also, and it is also known as slash and burn cultivation. But when they move from one place to another, they want land for cultivation and they clear that land by slash and burn. And this practice was known as shifting cultivation. This was done by the tribals. And not only this, when again that piece of land loses its fertility, they again move to a new area. This is what the shifting agriculture which was done by tribals. Hunting and gathering. Tribals depend on forest for all their needs. They only live by hunting and gathering forest produce. Whatever things were available in the forest, they collect those things like fruit, roots, honey, medicinal herbs, these all things. And they consume these things themselves or sold them in local market. Some form of barter system was also there. Barter system means जब आप किसी चीज़ के बदले कोई चीज़ किसी से ले लेते हैं. Suppose I am having rice and another is having wheat. I will give them rice and take wheat from them. That is what the barter system. So, some tribals exchange the things with milk product or whatever things they get from animals. for that also. When a forest was no longer able to supply their
or
needs,
fulfill their needs. So they were known as the people of the forest.
herding and rearing. Some tribal groups lived by herding and rearing animals, and they were dependent on their herds for their living, like sheep and cattle. But they live nomadic life. They move from one place to another when in a particular area the supply of food for their animals got exhausted and start living in another area. Now come to the settled agriculture. As the time passed, many tribal groups settled down permanently at one place and they began to cultivate the fields near their houses. Or we can also say that they built their houses near their fields. बेटे इन ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स में जो लैंड थे वो पूरे क्लैन की होती थी, पूरे ग्रुप की होती थी, किसी एक इंडिविजुअल की नहीं होती थी. और इस लैंड में जो भी बेटा क्रॉप प्रोड्यूस होती थी उसे हर फैमिली की नीड के अकॉर्डिंग बांट दिया जाता था. इन 19th century, the Mundas and the Santals, they took a settled agriculture in a very large scale. Or we can say that they started making a group. Very big groups were these, so these were the strongest tribal group of that time. But as we all understood up till now, that tribals used to live in isolation. That means वो अलग थलग रहना ही पसंद करते थे, कॉमन कम्युनिटी में मिलना नहीं चाहते थे और ना ही वो किसी आउटसाइडर को अपने कम्युनिटी में आने देना चाहते थे. लेकिन ब्रिटिश रूल के चलते उनके लाइफ में बहुत सारी चेंजेस आई, जिसमें सबसे पहले अगर हम बात करें तो उनका जो ये वे था आइसोलेटेड लाइफ जीने का वो खत्म हो गया. Now we will be talking about more changes which came in their life. Tribal disposed of their land. Better, company took over large tracts of land which was cultivated by the tribals. These landless tribals became wage laborers and were forced to grow cash crop as we read in previous chapter. So better, these landless tribals were paid, those who were the forced laborers, they were paid very low wages, and the tribals resisted to loss of their land as they considered themselves the natural owner of the land. And better, this land which they cultivated, they were cultivating that land for centuries. So they think that they were the natural owner of that particular land tract. It was taken by the Britishers. So this was a bit of the reason why the tribals opposed the British rule or they revolted against it. High revenue demand. But the company did not deprive all the tribal groups from their land. They allowed some tribals to retain their land and do cultivation of it, but on the condition that they will pay revenue to the British. This revenue was fixed and was very high. The method of cultivation was also strict as they forced to grow cash crops only. Not only this, when the tribals were unable to pay the revenue, they were evicted from their land. These landless tribals were forced to become a forced labor. Settled agriculture. Company want regular source of income, but it was difficult to monitor the pastoralist because they were not having a permanent home. So they shift from one place to another. That is why it was difficult to them to monitor. And better, one more thing was there, that they want a fixed revenue from our tribals. अगर वो पहचान नहीं पाएंगे कि जो ट्राइबल ग्रुप अभी यहाँ था थोड़े समय बाद वो कहाँ शिफ्ट हो गया, तो उनको रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन में भी प्रॉब्लम आती थी. सो they forced many tribals to become settled agriculturists and to pay revenue, which was fixed by the company. The tribal protested against it because when bitter they do cultivation on a particular land, it loses its fertility. That is why, or they cannot produce the enough from that particular piece of land. So they protested against this British plan. Changes in the forest law. Company made so many changes in forest laws. They declared forest as a state property and put restrictions on the collection of forest produce, on practicing shifting cultivation, on cutting trees, on hunting, and so many things. So, in some part of tribals were not even allowed to stay in the forest also. This changed the entire lifestyle of the tribals. The tribal protested against these laws and they considered the forest and all its produce as belonging to them. This was the main reason why the tribals protested against the British. Role of traders and moneylenders. Tribals were self-sufficient, but still they have to buy some things from the outsiders. So the traders, they charge very high price for the goods, whatever they sold to the tribals, because they were illiterate. That is why the tribal had to take short-term loans from the moneylenders, who charged very high rate of interest from them. And not only this, because of borrowing money, they also caught in the cycle of debt. And the tribal considered the traders and the money lenders as the evil influence and resisted their presence amongst them. बेटा, let us talk about the role of the Christian missionaries. बेटा, ब्रिटिशर्स ने ट्राइबल्स की लाइफ को अपने डिफरेंट लॉज वगैरह बना के ही इफेक्ट नहीं किया, बल्कि जो क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज इंडिया आई थी उन्होंने उनकी सोशियो रिलीजियस लाइफ में भी असर डालना शुरू किया. और वी कैन से दे स्टार्टेड इंटरफेयरिंग इन द ट्राइबल सोशियो रिलीजियस लाइफ एंड दे एडेड द मिस्ट्री for their life. These tribals resented the activities of these missionaries and looked upon them as a threat to their religious life. Come to the tribal chief. But the tribal chiefs lost their former importance. Before the arrival of British, they were having almost power of their group in their hands. But when Britishers came, they became the agent of the British. They had to appease their British masters as well as they have to control their group also. So they had to follow the laws made by the British and pay them tributes. Not only this, these all things make tribals unhappy and they started revolting against it. Now we will be reading about few main tribal revolts of the period. Tribal revolts. There were many revolts during 19th century. बेटा, इनका मेन कारण यही था कि ब्रिटिशर्स ने ट्राइबल्स की लाइफ में बहुत इंटरफेयर किया और उनका जो ट्रेडिशनल वे ऑफ लिविंग था उसे अफेक्ट किया. कुछ मेन ट्राइबल्स रिवोल्ट थी. Coal Rebellion of 1831-32 and Santhal Rebellion of 1855 and the Orange. Orange rebel was under Jatra Oren and most widespread and long-lasting protest was the Mundas. Munda Rebel. Let us talk about this, Peter. This was one of the most powerful revolt of late 19th century and these Mundas were concentrated in the Chota Nagpur region. It was led by Birsa Munda, who was also known as Ulgulan or the Great Timur. The aim was of this revolt was to better drive out the British and their agent and establish Munda Raj. Birsa Munda wanted to bring back the golden age of the tribals. He also wanted to free his people from the Britishers. Not only this, he asked the tribals to take their land forcefully back from the British and drive them away from them. The movement launched by the Birsa Munda was also a social movement because he aimed at reforming the tribal society. He wanted people to give up the practice of drinking liquor, performing animal sacrifices, worship of evil spirits, and leading a dishonest life. He was also against the Christian missionaries who interfere in the traditional culture of the tribals. British came down heavily against the rebellion. They arrested Birsa Munda in 1895 and imprisoned him. After some time, he died. The movement fizzled out after this, though the sporadic protest continued. So, the revolt, small revolts were continued during this period in 19th century, but this was the biggest revolt. Thank you, students. This is all in this chapter. Have a nice day.